Hey everyone, welcome back to Nick's Preparedness. I'm Nick and I want to take a few minutes today to talk about setting up a long gun for self-defense. The United States and the world as a whole is beginning to get to be a more dangerous place day by day. With all of the political turmoil and the elections coming up, we may see things that our generation has never seen in this nation before. So I'd like to take this time to show a little bit about how to set a long gun up for self-defense should you ever need it. But before we get started, I want to ask you, if you're enjoying the videos, if you like the content, please scroll down, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment. This helps me more than you know in getting this information up and out to everybody where they can see it. Now let's move on into the subject of long guns for personal defense. A long gun is without a doubt one of the best ways to defend yourself if you're able to keep one on or near you. But there's a few things that we always need to consider, just like with our pistols, and how we set them up to make them the most effective and the safest for us and anybody that we do not want to harm with them. With that in mind, I'm going to show you an up-close view of my personal defensive rifle and point out a few things that I think every rifle should have on it. Remember, if you choose to carry a rifle with you for personal defense, there are going to be situations where you may have to leave it unattended in a vehicle. I'll post a link above, that way you can click on my video on how to secure your firearms in a car. That way you make sure nobody has easy access to it while you're gone. So this is my personal defensive rifle. It's very simple, very plain, and set up pretty much the way it came from the factory. I added a few little things, but I really think they're just the necessities. The first thing that any long gun needs is a proper sling. Anytime you have a long gun that you're using for defensive purposes, you might find a situation where you have to drop that to grab somebody, to pull someone to safety, to push someone away from you. In any case, when you let go of your firearm, you do not want it to fall, hit the ground, or get into someone else's hand. This is a fairly simple sling. This one's made by Viking Tactics. It works pretty well. You can use this tab right here to lengthen or shorten it as you need it. As you see, I've also got a tourniquet connected to it. That's something handy to have anywhere you're at. That way, anytime you've got your rifle, you've also got a tourniquet handy. Another thing that every defensive long gun needs to have is a light. Having this white light on your weapon can help you determine what it is you're facing, if it's a threat, and if there's anything that's not a threat that could be injured in the path of your bullet should you have to fire. It is very important that you always know your target and what is beyond, and using a light makes all the difference in low light situations in making sure that you do not cause a tragic outcome. The light that I have mounted on this weapon is right here. It's an N-Force. They're fairly ergonomic, they're designed well, but there's other options. This is one made by Surefire. These are the Scout lights. They're very durable, often thought of as some of the toughest lights in the world. They're very simple. They've got a button in the back, turn them off and on. They've got a rail mount. You can find rail mounts to go on the fore ends of most rifles. I'm not a big fan of them, but there's also some rail mounts that clip to your front sight and tighten up. As long as you have a light mounted on there securely that points in the direction of the muzzle, it really doesn't matter as long as it's on there and it won't fall off. But please have a white light on your rifle or shotgun. Another thing that people get hung up on with long guns is using a different optic. Optics are great. This is an aim point. It's a fantastic optic. It works really well. When you bring it up, you see a red dot. There's no mistaking where your point of impact is going to be. However, it has a battery, it has circuitry, and it can fail. So if you're going to run any type of optic, whether it's a battery powered optic, whether it's a low powered scope, you always want to make sure you still have the opportunity to use your iron sights. This still has the factory front sight post, and it's got a backup iron sight that can be flipped up. Another important factor is making sure all your sights are zeroed, your optic and your iron sights, and that it's zeroed to the ammunition that you carry in the rifle. If you switch back and forth while you're practicing, make sure that you know what's in there on a day-to-day basis is what your gun is zeroed to. That way, if you have to act, you don't miss. With that in mind, remember to carry a spare magazine. You may or may not need the extra ammunition, but a spare magazine is also the cure for a lot of the problems that can happen in semi-automatic pistols and rifles. Sometimes you'll have to strip a bad magazine out, clear a jam, and you'll need to insert a new magazine to get everything back up and running. As far as ammunition is concerned, we all buy up the bulk Lake City or Wolf or whatever ammunition that's out there and available. But just like in our pistols, we want to carry as good a quality defensive ammunition as we can get. This is Speer Gold Dot. There's a lot of other great ones on the market. Do a little bit of research, find out what works best, make sure it feeds in your weapon, it's accurate and reliable, and carry that, zero your weapon to it. I don't want to get any more in depth than that because I'm not a firearms instructor and this isn't a firearms channel. What I am going to recommend is you check out some of the other channels and some of the other websites. I'm going to post some information and a link in the contents to a place I really like and I've personally been multiple times. It's Valor Ridge. It's a site that Reid Henrichs runs. He does great training. He also does a lot of great videos. So check out his site, check out his YouTube videos, and check out his videos on Full 30 as well. You'll get a lot of great information, and if you ever have a chance to go train with him or anybody, please go get some training, learn to use your rifle, learn to use your pistol, be safe, and take care of yourself. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember, click the like button below, subscribe if you haven't already, click the red bell so you get new videos as soon as they come out, and visit my website at nixpreparedness.com. I really appreciate you watching, and remember, get better and stay ready.